And so we found a video about mortgages, and we get a lot of hate for our take on mortgages that you shouldn't have one. It's a hot take that you should pay your mortgage off because then you can really live and give like no one else and build wealth. So let's watch this video, and I'll let you know my thoughts after.
Paying off your mortgage early isn't always a great idea. Let me show you why. Let's say that you have a $300,000 mortgage at a 4% interest rate for 30 years. Your payment is $1,400. You have an extra $1,000 that you can use to either pay off your mortgage faster or invest. Let's look at what happens in both cases. If you use your $1,000 to pay off your mortgage faster, you'll pay off your mortgage in 13 years and save $120K worth of interest. Now start investing all of that $2,400. 17 years later, you'll have $1 million, assuming an average 8% return. Now let's look at if you invest the $1,000 instead of paying off your mortgage. Over the same 30 years, you'll pay $128,000 more in interest, but you'll have $1.4 million in investments. Paying off your mortgage early would cost you $300,000 in total wealth. That's a lot of money. Sure, you've saved a bit on interest, but you lost money in the long run. That's why it's so important that you understand the way personal finance actually works. That way you can crunch the numbers and choose the path that makes the most financial sense for you.
Oh, so that's how personal finance actually works. Oh my goodness. Well, if I had known that, I would have gotten to way more debt because apparently you can make millions by going into debt and staying in debt. Okay. A lot of numbers were thrown out there. You can ignore the numbers for now. It's too much to keep in your brain. I tried to write some of it down. It's just too much. But here's the deal. As a guy who paid off his house, and some people have said, well, that was a dumb thing to do. You should have invested the money. Listen, it's hard enough for me to sleep at night with everything going on in the world, but I sleep a whole lot better knowing my home is paid for, and I don't owe anyone anything. And here's the thing. People come at us and go, well, you still have taxes and insurance, so you'll always have payments. You must be real fun at parties if that's how you think and talk to people. So when it comes to the mortgage, you're right. On paper, you can do better. If life works out perfectly for you and you magically have an extra $1,000 sitting around, which, news alert, most Americans don't because they're broke, then yes, on paper, if it works out perfectly and you get your exact return every single year and you get that exact mortgage scenario, sure, you could end up with a few $100,000 more. But the truth is, 99.9% of Americans aren't doing that, will not do that, can't do that. They don't have extra money laying around. And if you think that if I did have extra money, it would all go towards investing because I'm such an astute investor, you're also wrong, because we know lifestyle creep happens, life happens, a vacation pops up, a wedding pops up, a funeral. Life just happens. HVAC goes out. And so what happens is the people that do that generally don't have an emergency fund, don't have extra money. And if they do, they're probably hanging out in Reddit threads, talking about how much Dave doesn't know about personal finance, which is totally fine. You are entitled to your opinion. It is a free country, and you're entitled to have to be wrong. That's part of freedom. So to that point, here's what I'll say. That video is clearly geared towards younger people, which frustrates me because young people in their 20s are starting to fall for these traps, and they're starting to believe that debt is a tool to be leveraged, and you can create so much wealth by leveraging debt. And so to that I say, what if we didn't have payments and we invested the money? What would that turn into? How much life could we live in the meantime before retirement? Before we have $1.4 million, there's a lot of life in between, isn't there? We want to raise families. We want to send our kids to college debt-free. We want to go on amazing vacations. We want to give generously. And what I have found is that payments in your life hold you back from doing all that in the meantime, over the next 30 years of your working life. And so that is why I advocate for paying off your mortgage early. And we've debunked many times the idea of you guys should hang on to your mortgage for the tax deduction. No, we debunk this all the time at our live events in Financial Peace University. You're trading a dollar for a quarter if you're keeping your mortgage around for the tax deduction because you want to pay your lender $10,000 instead of sending the IRS $2,500. That's just bad math. So all that to say, please stop making videos that are hurting young people. I want them to win financially. I want them to live a debt-free life, not only because of the financial side, but the psychological side, the spiritual side. We're seeing so much anxiety and depression with these younger generations, and a huge part of that is because of money fears, money problems, money issues. And so I think if we can get rid of that aspect, we can then focus on other things. We can be more selfless, focus on others more, find opportunities where we can help others because we're not so focused and dialed in on our own money problems. So that's my encouragement to you guys. Take it as you will. That's TikTok for you.